What's going on, guys? It's Steve, and today wanted to talk about why I'm a believer in PlayStation VR now. I was very skeptical in the past, and I always just kept thinking of it as a gimmick. Then I heard a good line that it's not a gimmick, and it's not a gimmick until it is or isn't. Which sounds confusing, but it makes sense. It's too early to call off a PlayStation VR a gimmick, especially when it's got a lot to prove and it's striving for it. The company really believes in it, they're pushing for it, and there's more to it than just thinking of, games. And I'm a person like that where I only thought PlayStation VR is, you're going to throw a headset on, you're going to pretend to be a dinosaur running through the city just causing this mayhem and chaotic stuff like that. As much as there is going to be stuff like that on VR, cheap little thing you can download and show your nieces and nephews, PlayStation VR opens the door to a wider possibility and a more variety of experiences. Because as much as that's what VR is being shown as, all these little games and stuff like that, we can't forget that it is virtual reality. Being able to experience real live events virtually from your home. Imagine being able to put that on, experience some sort of event or a concert, and that's stuff that people are starting to wish for and realize that is more of a possibility, especially with VR. Every year Sony has their PlayStation experience. If they had a 360 camera set up there or someone walking around with a 360 camera, and you were able to come home, put your headset on, have an app download on your PlayStation 4, pay whatever you need to pay, and be at that event, you got me. You got me sold on that. I'll pay whatever I need to pay just to be there in a different way, to virtually experience a real live event. And that's the kind of thing people were missing. Everyone just kept thinking about VR as a game thing, as a little gimmick, a new Wii U nonsense. And I was one of those people. But recently, especially what Sony's been talking about and Shuhei has been pushing, is that VR is a thing. It's not something that they're kind of just going to dismiss. They're not going to just try to make a quick buck on it and let it go. Developers are behind it, and it's something that a lot of people are starting to invest more. And that's something I'm glad to see, and that's why I started to believe more in it. Yes, PSVR is going to have its AAA games, like Riggs, I believe is going to be one of the launch ones. And everyone keeps hoping for No Man's Sky to be a virtual reality game. Who knows what it's going to be. We'll have those experiences set for those kind of people, and I'm going to like playing those kind of stuff. Whether I get sick and nauseous of it, that's something else. But I'm going to like that. I'm also going to like to be able to just bring someone over, put the headset on them, and let them, fake skydive or walk on a moon, some moon simulator, a real walking simulator. Those are fine too. But it's that virtual experience now, being able to live a real life experience or a real life event that's going to be interesting. And Sony's the people to take that risk, to have the guts to think about it and do it. Especially when they have conferences the way they do. Especially the way to make this splash. They like to connect to the audience. They like to connect to their people. They like to connect to the kind of funny guys and IGN and that kind of stuff. But they like to connect straight to the audience, which is why they have PlayStation Experience, and they like having conferences like that, where they come out, tell you how it is, this is this, that, the third, and they go on with it. Now, being able to include people more, especially in a virtual reality set, like talk to people directly who have their virtual reality set, is going to be interesting if they take that approach. And I hope they do. I hope they've heard the cries and the wishes and the speculations, because it'll just bring something different to VR. Now, I know people can probably mod things on their PC and use Oculus Rift for all kinds of stuff, but you got to think about what Sony's trying to create here, and they're creating a platform. VR is going to exist. It's not going to just go away. It's not going to be what the Move was for PlayStation 3. It's not going to be the waggle nonsense that came out for Nintendo, and it's not going to be a gimmick pad for the Wii U. It's going to be something that's going to stick around. It's going to stay in the gaming cycle. In 10 years, we'll have virtual reality, the PSVR 4, 3, whatever they call it. We're going to have a new virtual reality sets. We'll have the sequels to Oculus's, and they're going to be incredible. It's the stuff we haven't even thought of. The uses that these things could do is what makes me believe in it. Now, I'm not saying PlayStation VR and Oculus are going to be the ones that are going to maximize their usage, maximize what people might want, but they're going to start giving that itch. They're going to start making people think, and companies are going to start seeing what people want. That's why I believe in VR. Like, bottom line, I believe in VR because of the possibilities, and all these possibilities are starting to be achieved. People are starting to try to do 360 camera and stuff. You can do it on YouTube with your phone. I'm sure people are hooking it up for Oculus already, finding a way to make it work on PlayStation VR and any other VR headsets that are out there. VR is a thing, guys, and it's something that people are kind of trying to ignore despite prices and stuff like that, and no, there's no games. There are going to be games, there's also going to be more, and that's the stuff that's really interesting me. Like, what else does Sony have behind doors that they're not talking about? They're showing the games, they're showing how well the system works and all that's working together, but I'm more curious, what does it have that we haven't seen yet? What do they know that we don't? You know, they've always been a secretive company, though leaks and rumors and all that kind of stuff always happens. We haven't seen too much about the VR. We've seen certain little things and rumored games, but it's the package as a whole. What experience are they going to sell us? They're not going to sell us a $400 piece of equipment that we're just going to put away in a box for a while, pull it out every once in a while, and just sell it at these third-party stores. They're selling us a new way to experience games, events, music, shows, all this kind of stuff. And that's where I start believing in it. That's when you got to think, man, being at a concert I can't be across the world, but I can do it on the comfort of my couch with my headset, being able to turn, experience the audience. That's incredible. If you start thinking about that, think of your favorite band on stage. You couldn't get tickets, if it's a world tour or whatever. But being able to put your headset on, whether it be PlayStation VR, Oculus, putting that headset on and being so close to them, again, it's reality. That's a virtual reality. That's why VR is called that. And that's why I'm starting to believe in it. That's why I am a believer in it. I'm sorry for the rant, but I needed to get that out there because it wasn't until I heard stuff like that where I realized the VR is more than just a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. And I believe it's not a gimmick. Sony doesn't believe it's a gimmick. And bigger people are starting to realize this is not a gimmick. This is another step in gaming. It's not the next step. This is not going to replace gaming. But it's going to exist alongside it. And I can't wait. What do you guys think? I know VR still has a bad taste in people's mouth and people are confused. But what do you guys think? Like, is the VR experiences starting to, tickle your fancy? Are you starting to get interested? Is it something you're just going to stay away from? Do you need more time? Because I understand if any of those apply to you, because VR is still a mystery. But it's a mystery that it's starting to get into me, and I really can't wait. Let me know what you guys think, all the stuff you believe about VR, don't believe about VR, or if it just isn't for you. Let me know, and until next time, guys, thank you, and take care.